Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. So, right now, as we speak, the VA Secretary is having a live press conference where he's being asked questions about the new GAO report. A lot of you guys have probably never heard of the GAO, which I just put the name here in the chat and the link where you can see the report for yourself. I'm going to pull it up in a second. But they did a study, 10-year study between 2010, and this isn't the first time they do it, guys. They do these reports every 2 years. Every 2 years, they do a report, trying to figure out, okay, has the VA improved with healthcare, with race relations, with overall care, hospital, personnel, staff? They do a report of all of it. Well, here's what they found after 10 years, okay? Can anybody tell me which race got the lowest approval rating out of all races? Who's got the lowest approval rating? And I just dropped it on my community page. That would be African Americans. 61% approval in 10 years. The counterparts, who's the lead? White soldiers. 75% approval rate. African Americans, the lowest. Matter of fact, I don't have to just talk about it. I can show you. I'm going to pull up the report. Those of you interested in reading it, once again, I put the link in the chat where you can click onto it and read the entire report if you would like to. But I'm going to pull this up so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So this is the Government Accountability Office, the GAO, okay? And if you look here on this very first one, from 2010 to 2020, found that non-Hispanic Black veterans had the lowest approval rates among all races and ethnic groups, 61% versus 75% for white veterans. And I know there's a lot of you guys who filled out claims between that time period, were denied for whatever reason, okay? And I always tell people, if you have a legitimate claim, I'm not talking about something you just pulled out of the air. I'm not talking about something you don't qualify for that you shouldn't get. I'm talking to veterans out there who have legitimate claims, something that actually happened to you in service, a secondary condition that is caused from your primary condition in service. Fight for your benefits. Fight for your benefits. Here's the actual percentage right here. If you notice, everybody else is in the mid to high 70s and 80s, while African Americans are all the way down here by themselves at 61%. That's a problem. There's no way everybody else here got these numbers while we're all the way back here. No way. Now, I will tell you also, this one right here, this Asian one, and this Pacific Island one, those are going to get investigated even further because a lot of this is because of the Philippines. And I told you guys about that before, how veterans been going to the Philippines and just getting numbers where they were getting straight denied in the States for a reason. They all of a sudden get approved in the Philippines. They're going back over all those claims. What's going on, Mr. B? How you doing? I was live with my congressperson, and the VA agrees they have a problem. Yeah, they're going to always agree, Mr. B, but what are they going to do about it? That's the question. You can tell me all day there's a race problem among the staff that's at the VA. You got a lot of the old guard, people who only think one way about African Americans. They may have had a bad experience, whatever the case may be, but to blame an entire race of people for their own personal feelings or the way they see the world, that's wrong. But telling us that's a problem, okay, you acknowledge a problem. What are they going to do to fix it? That's what I want to know. Just telling me about it does me no good, right? They told us about this, if you guys remember, 2 years ago, there was a problem. Telling us and doing things about it, two different things. But I will say this, and I'm not telling people to file a claim. Listen to me. I'm not telling you to file a claim. But if you have a legitimate claim, since they put this news out there, if you have a legitimate claim that you want to file, it would behoove you to consider it because they want to bring those numbers up. They want to give a reason to show here pretty quickly, hey, look, this is what it was then, but here's our numbers now. You guys understand what I'm saying? That's for people who have legitimate claims. I'm not saying just go out there and make up something that you know you ain't got no shot in hell of getting. Legitimate. That was what I was trying to bring up. They cut the conversation. Yeah, they can always cut that conversation. They can acknowledge all day, Mr. B, but acknowledging a problem and trying to solve the problem, two different things. What needs to happen? They need to go through and clean house. They need to slowly shift out departments and bring new people in. It's like Congress. They need to weed out all them old heads, bring in new, fresh, young ideas to transform the country. As long as we keep the same system that we have in place right now, we shouldn't expect much to change because they don't want it to change. They can easily change a lot of this stuff, dude. There's a lot of people who work at the VA who's been there for many years and their mind is set one way. The only way you're going to change that in any system, dude, is to clean house. Now, that's a massive task for the VA to undertake because of all the people who are employed by the government. But they could do it if they really wanted to do it. They could start with each department and clean house. Okay, how many years you got here? Cool, thanks. Okay, let's move on, get somebody else in here. Let's promote other people here who show the propensity to not have an issue with race. And people who you suspect have issue with race, let's get them up out of here. It's like with anything else, you got to have turnover. They don't have enough turnover at the VA. They just have people who've been there for a certain amount of time. They move them up. They still keep them with those same ideas in the same place. And until they clean house, bro, I don't expect much to change. I really don't. But I will say, like I said earlier, they're going to want to bump those numbers up because that's too big a disparity. There's no way soldiers who are fighting in the same areas, doing the same things, are 10, 12, 13 percentage points behind all the other veterans who are in the mid 70s and high 80s. No way, bro. No way. They know that there's a race problem at the VA. They know this. But they gotta make meaningful change. Just talking about it, because I listening to him, he acknowledged all day long. He said, oh yeah, we got this problem. But he ain't said a damn thing about what they're gonna do to fix it. Nothing. So all that lip service, bro, that's all it is. But I'm gonna say this one more time, and I'm not telling people to file claims. And if you are gonna file one, once again, file a legitimate claim. Because they want to get those numbers up. They want to show that, hey, we're making progress to get this up to where it should be. We should be somewhere in the 70s, not in the 60s. No way. No way. So that's basically what I wanted to come on and talk about, ladies and gentlemen. I have the link right here in the chat where you guys can go and read this report for yourselves. It's a pretty long report. What I have on screen right now is basically where you can go through and look at the highlights. But I'm on the highlights, but you can download it. You can look at the recommendations. You can look at the full report. I mean, they got it all right here, the recommendation. 3 recommendations to the VA, including develop a plan to address limitations when it comes to race, ethnic, I can't even speak, data, conduct a comprehensive assessment of disability compensation to identify the root cause that could contribute to race and ethnic disparities. VA agrees with the recommendation. They can agree all day, bro. These are the recommendations right here. They can agree all day. But until the VA goes in and clean house, all this means absolutely diddly squat. Let's see. Exactly. Yeah. So again, guys, this is just a quick live. I wanted to put this information out there. Once again, here is the link where anybody who wants to go and read the full report, you can click onto this link right here, go see it. This is called the U.S. Government Accountability Office. I'll also put this information in the community page. If you're catching it on the replay, you got 2 sources where you can go read it, okay? I advise every person who's in this chat, please go read this. You may have an answer as to why your claim was continuously denied. Okay, also depending on the state that you're in. Every state is different. If you really dig into the numbers, you see what the issues are. If you really dig into the numbers, where the lowest percentages are actually at. When you dig into the numbers, you will see what I'm saying. Okay, not trying to be controversial or anything like that, but just hey, dig into the numbers. You'll see what I'm saying. I'm 100% PNT. Do I have to worry about a reduction? How long have you been 100% PNT? Let's see. I raised Cain with the VA. I asked why they rated black people lower. They don't have an answer for you, bro. You know, they just got spokespeople out there right now. They're not going to say anything that's going to create controversy. They're going to skip, dance, jump around the question all day long. They're never going to answer a question like that directly. Never going to happen. They know what the problem is, bro. They know what the issue are, but they're never going to answer that question. 3 years. So I'm going to answer your question honestly, okay? You've only had your rating for 3 years. And you want to know, can they reduce it? I'm not going to lie to you. Until you've had that rating at least 5 years, and even after 5 years, they can still reduce it. But yes, you have 0 protections. None. I wouldn't worry, though. I mean, unless you did something, or they made a mistake and they went back and caught it, or you went in and told the doctor you feel great or whatever, I wouldn't worry about it. As long as you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing, right? You didn't lie to them. You didn't create a story. You didn't get some kind of doctor to write up some kind of false report. You should be fine, okay? You should be fine. I would not worry about that. I wouldn't. When I got 100% PNT, dude, I didn't give a damn what else they had going, because it takes a lot to reduce it. It takes a lot. It's not like they can just, okay, he had one thing and now this. No, it takes a lot. Once they give you 100% PNT, it takes a lot. But if you're asking me if they can reduce it, they can, because you only got 3 years. You have 0 protection. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you they can't. They can. You have 0 protection at this point. Any other questions? Are there any other questions before I decide to bounce? But Evan, I wouldn't trip. I'm serious. I would sleep just fine. Take my medication, follow what they tell me to do, and I wouldn't even worry about it. I swear to you, I wouldn't give it a second thought. Okay, so if there's no other questions, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and bounce. But hey, you're African American or American or Black, whatever you call yourself, you want to go read this report, because I'm pretty sure there are a lot of you all in the chat right now who filed a claim between 2010 and 2020, and you were denied. Read that report. You might be in that category that they're talking about. Okay, but other than that, guys, that's going to be it. I'm out. Peace. Enjoy the rest of your day.